Chapter 5 The First Run. Up ahead, Coldcrove is already fighting the first group of enemies, facing down 6 goblins who have spread out surrounding him. Undaunted, his massive axe swings down and sideways, left and right, then he turns 180 degrees and brings the deadly weapon down on the head of one of the miniature monsters. Just then, one gets a little too close and goes to slice his back open. Out of nowhere, Sabella appears and drives both of her poison-drenched daggers deep into the monster's back, then rolls to her left, dragging the vile creature away from Coldcrove. The monster shrieks out in pain. Then, as its pain turns to rage, the hideous green goblin's eyes turn red. "Thanks for the assist, Sybil," Coldcrove shouts.
"No problem, Cold. I've got this one. And that one,"
she says, as she pulls out a small axe and hurls it at another nearby goblin, wielding a staff. The axe strikes the goblin shaman, who then redirects her attention to Sabella. Before she can even begin to cast her first spell, the first enraged goblin launches a vicious attack on the rogue, swinging his rusty short sword wildly at her head and chest. Sabella dodges the first attack by ducking down quickly. Then she intercepts the second attack with her left dagger, slides underneath it, closing the distance between herself and the goblin. Following this, she slices deep with her right dagger into the goblin's throat, dragging it swiftly across. Blood splatters everywhere, and it gurgles in agony as its life fades away. Immediately, she rolls backwards and to the left, narrowly avoiding the fireball cast by the shaman. She throws a dagger at the shaman who is casting a second spell, but the shaman dodges it. Even though the dagger didn't connect, the shaman had to restart her spell, so it wasn't a total loss. Before the enemy caster can finish the spell, Sabella closes the gap and slices her throat as well. Following this, she stabs her twice in her stomach and rolls away, knowing that the shaman can't cast for 20 more seconds, and before that much time elapses, the poison and the bleeding will leave the goblin shaman no more than a warm corpse. Having taken out these two, she returns her attention to Cold, who is still surrounded by 3 goblins. While she was taking out those first 2 green monsters, another 2 had shown up and joined in on the attack on the team's beloved Viking warrior. So, the nimble elven rogue launches herself towards the goblin closest to her, but just before she gets to it, it spins to face her and slams her right side with its wooden mace. She falls to the ground and rolls away, minimizing the damage inflicted. "Sable!" Coldcrove shouts as he drives the hilt of his axe through the skull of the goblin he's currently facing. "I got this," she rebuts, smiling with a vengeful fire in her eyes. Coldcrove swings his axe swiftly, separating the head from the body of the other goblin he's taking on, as Sabella drives her fist hard up into the chin of the last standing goblin. Then, as he flies upwards, she sinks her dagger deep into his stomach. It lets out a short, wretched "blah" and slumps onto the ground lifeless. Situation handled, she looks back at Coldcrove and winks proudly. "Damn," he shouts, winking back with a slight smile. "Moving on to the next group." "Nice brawling, guys," Killswitch commends the pair. Then he reaches up to take his shield from his back and unsheaths his sword. "Let's start hitting the big ones." Just around the next corner, Sabella reports from behind a rock. "A group of 6 just before an 8-pack with a heavy 3 patrol on a 40-second cycle. Excellent, Cold and Kill state in unison. Then Kill asks,
How many seconds till the patrol passes the first group?
That's about 8 more seconds, she replies.
All right, you know the drill,
Kill implies.
Of course,
the others reply together. Sabella begins, Stun. Sedate and pop, Salvatore adds. Catch, Cold chimes in.
Garrote, stab, and throw,
Sabella divulges. Hack and slash away, says Cold. Drop some heels and blast when good, Salvatore finishes.
Yes, yes, and I keep all the aggression on me,
Killswitch concludes. Before he can even finish his statement, Sabella fades into the shadows and silently heads for her mark. As soon as the patrol gets far enough away, she hits the oracle in the back of the head with the hilt of her dagger, knocking it out. Then she catches it and quietly lowers it to the ground. Immediately after this, Salvatore casts a spell that puts the shaman into a delicate trance. After which, he casts a second spell that blasts the berserker on the right with holy light. It screams in pain and lunges forward to attack Salvatore in revenge. Just before it reaches Salvatore, Cold Crow jumps between the two and slashes the berserker deep across the chest. Blood splashes out and the berserker shrieks out once again. Suddenly, his eyes turn to a bright red glow as his muscles grow bigger, and he is joined by 2 others in his attack, one with a club and the other with a rough stone spear.